Hi everybody, my name is Caleb Tucker. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a Mormon. I want to share with you today why I believe in God, and there's a story in particular that I want to share with you. About 12 years ago, I graduated from a university with good scores, and it was a great university, and I had a thought in my mind that I was going to be a millionaire and take the world on. I learned very quickly that I wasn't the all-star that I thought I was. And I found myself unemployed living in my in-laws' basement on very little income. And to put it very plainly, this was a really trying time in my life. They were among some of my darkest days. I was depressed and felt really low. And you know, I know that in the spectrum of challenges, this might not be the greatest challenge that one could have, but for me, in my life at that time, it was a pretty big challenge, and I knew that we needed some extra help to lift us out of that. And so my wife and I decided that we were going to ask God for help. And so we knelt down on a Saturday afternoon in August and we prayed for God's help that I would find a job. And I remember that we continued to pray that Saturday and all day Sunday. And we both knelt down in a prayer Sunday afternoon and said one more prayer asking for God's help in helping me find a job. And when we stood up from that prayer, I remember looking at my wife and just having a good feeling, and somehow I knew that God was going to answer our prayers. And so after that, my wife suggested that we go down to Temple Square, which is a historic site in Salt Lake City. And so we packed up our car and we drove down to Temple Square in Salt Lake. And we were walking around the temple grounds, and in August it's really pretty because the flowers are in full bloom. And so we were walking around and we ran into another family there that was taking pictures, and they asked us if we would take pictures of them, and we asked them if they would take pictures of us. And we struck up a conversation and something miraculous happened. I learned that this individual was friends with the CEO of a company that I had interviewed with. And it was the only company I had interviewed with in 4 months of job searching. So that was a miracle in itself. The next miracle was that his wife was actually an employee of this company. And we had a really good exchange, and I just remember thinking like, wow, this is a direct answer to my prayer. And on the way, as we said our farewells, he said, "Caleb, I'm going to put in a good word for you." And you know what? He did. And I remember just a couple weeks later, I got an offer from that company, and a week after that we were packing up the U-Haul truck and driving down to Melbourne, Florida for a new job. There's so many miracles associated with that. It was thousands, hundreds of thousands of people were losing their jobs, and somehow I managed to get a job. And the miracle was that it was this really tiny company in Melbourne, Florida, 400 employees, and our lives intersected in such a way that I was able to secure this job. I know that God answers prayers and that He is a God of miracles. And He is our Heavenly Father, and we are His children. He loves us and He loves you, and He will answer your prayers. I encourage you to find a quiet place to offer up the sincerest desires of your heart. Doubt not and be believing. May God bless you. I wish you the best.